Hello and welcome back to the Side Hustle Review podcast. I am your host, Ryan. And as always, this is still one of the most raw, underproduced podcasts you'll probably ever listen to. No fancy edits, no production team, just me squeezing this in between my dad duties, a full-time job, and my own side hustle. So here's how you can help me keep this going. Leave a 5-star review wherever you are listening. Share this episode with someone you think might benefit from it. And as always, I would love to hear from you in the comments and hear how I may be able to improve or what you might want to hear from me next. I'm always down to hear from you guys, so I'm really looking forward to that. All right. With that out of the way, let's dive into today's topic, which is the smartest things to do with your first $1,000 from a side hustle or your entrepreneurial journey. Now, you may remember in our last episode, we broke down 3 buckets of side hustles, which are the pocket change side hustles, the financial booster, and the freedom builder side hustles. If you missed it, go back and listen to those because it lays the foundation for what we're diving into today. This episode is all about what happens when you hit the big milestone of making $1,000 from your hustle. That is $1,000 of not just spending money, it's an opportunity to reinvest in what you're doing and how you can grow it. Now, how you handle this milestone can set the tone for whether your hustle stays short term or it becomes a long-term income stream or even evolves into generational wealth. So why does $1,000 matter? Hitting $1,000 is a big deal. It's what the business world often calls a proof of concept. It shows that your idea has traction and people are willing to pay for what you are offering. But here's the thing. What you do next matters even more. And you have 2 choices: to spend the money on short-term needs like dinners, bills, or personal wants, or reinvest it to grow into something bigger. And let me be clear, there is no shame in using your side hustle income to pay your daytime bills. For many people, that's what it's there for. It's there to help you get by. But if you're in a position to reinvest, you're playing the long game. This is what experts often refer to as leveraging capital for exponential growth. Whether that means you're upgrading equipment, scaling marketing, or building a financial safety net, your first 1,000 is the foundation for the next steps in your entrepreneurial journey. Now, let's talk about some of the top ways you can reinvest the first $1,000. The first one is equipment or tools. Reinvesting in the right tools can increase efficiency and quality. Some examples of this would be a content creator upgrading into a professional grade mic, or a freelancer investing into faster software. Many of these expenses fall under capital investments, which often comes with tax advantages. The second smartest thing you can do is invest in marketing. Marketing is where business often sees the biggest return on investment. If you're in a position where you're going to net $1,000, you likely have a proven market strategy that just needs more scale. Fast Capital 360 highlights that businesses that reinvest at least 20% of their profits into marketing often experience accelerated growth. And a pro tip: follow the invest, return, reinvest model. By reinvesting it into marketing repeatedly, you can hit new revenue milestones until you reach market saturation. The third smartest thing you can do is invest in your education or skills. Taking a course or learning new skills can dramatically increase your earning potential. Think about certifications or workshops that align with premium services in your niche. Things like SEO certifications for marketers or specialized coding courses for tech freelancers can really up the amount you're charging to your clients. Now, another smart thing you can do with this money is consider using it for long-term goals. Open a 529 college savings plan for your kids, build a rainy day fund in a high-yield savings account, or even start investing in index funds with this side hustle money can really help you build generational wealth. Reinvesting into your business definitely has tax benefits. Many tools, courses, and marketing expenses can be written off, reducing your taxable income. Now, if you do set up an LLC or a S Corp, you can even have things going into an IRA for yourself or a 401k for yourself that even pluses this up even more. Now, remember, I am not a tax professional, so make sure you refer to one, but I can definitively say there are tax advantages to reinvesting this money. And pay simple notes. Understanding these tax advantages is critical to keeping more of what you earn and reaching that exponential growth you're looking for. Now, let me give you some more detailed examples of how some of this might look like. Let's say you've started an Etsy shop selling handmade candles and you hit your first $1,000 in sales. You could use that money to run Pinterest ads targeted at keywords like scented candles for relaxation or holiday gift candles. Pinterest has shown to drive strong purchase intent, and with 83% of users reporting purchases based on what they see on that platform, this could be a very good investment for your Etsy shop that even scales and gets you more customers. And you're going to have to figure out not what to do with $1,000, but $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 as it grows. Another example is, let's say you're a freelancer and you're a graphic designer who's made $1,000 offering logo design services. You can reinvest this into a website with an SEO blog targeted at keywords like affordable logo design or branding for small businesses. Clients searching for these terms are already in the market for your services and could find you as one of the people they want to work with. Or let's say you're in the gig economy and you're working with platforms like Neighbor or iViewIt. Taking this $1,000 to some other type of business can still have a lot of advantages for you as you start to understand your taxable income and start building you into a whole other side hustle. And one last example, let's say you're a content creator. You've made $1,000 from your YouTube channel. You can use that money to boost some of your most popular organic videos with targeted ads to grow even more and start to appeal to a bigger sponsorship pool. Now, these are just a few examples. There are plenty more, but I hope you understand what I'm going with. Is it really reinvesting into any of these things, such as educational skills or marketing or new equipment in tools, or even just using it for savings that are going to get you high interest, are some of the smartest things you can do with this money. Now, again, I am not putting any shame to people that use them to pay for bills. In fact, that's why I started my side hustle. But if you understand the long game and eventually get to a place where you can swirl this money and get it working for you, you can definitely start to get this to go in the right direction. Now, one of the biggest questions you'll face when you hit this milestone is whether to keep reinvesting in your current business or side hustle or diversify into new income streams. Here's how to think about it. Reinvest when you have a proven formula that works, or you're confident that additional investment will yield a higher return. Diversify when you've hit a plateau or saturation point in your current business or hustle, or when you want to reduce risk by creating additional income streams. Lastly, you might want to diversify when you feel burnt out of this side hustle altogether and you may just abandon it. Something to think about is that diversification protects you against market volatility, but reinvestment accelerates growth. Your decision should depend on your goals and market condition. The key takeaway here is scaling isn't just about doing more, it's about doing smarter. Whether you reinvest or diversify, always keep an eye on sustainability and long-term potential rather than the short term. Now, don't get me wrong, I know that there is an emotional impact when it comes to reinvesting. Reinvesting that first 1,000 can feel like it's betting on yourself, and honestly, it is. It's not always easy to take money you've worked hard for and put it back into a hustle instead of enjoying it immediately. But here's the thing, when you invest, you're building something bigger and something that's way better than short-term gratification. I remember talking to someone who started with $1,000 and chose to reinvest it in their marketing. And within 3 months, that 1,000 turned into 5,000. And they continued to do that and was eventually able to quit their part-time job, have this on the side, and they're about to quit their full-time job because they've been continuing to reinvest in themselves. That's the power of what this could be here. Now let's pause here and talk about support. One of the very promising side hustles is content creation. Whether it's a podcast, YouTube channel, or blog, content creation has a ton of ways to earn. You can directly support through tips or subscriptions. You can buy merch like the one I'm wearing, or you can even do ads and sponsorships. If you've been thinking about starting a podcast or channel, you should really go for it because I have been seeing the potential in it. And if you want to support me and this podcast, here is how you can help. You can tip me on my Snip feed, which I'll link in the show notes. You can become a monthly subscriber, or you can grab a Self-Made 100 Dare shirt right there at the link that's in my show notes. And one thing I'm really excited about next week is I'm going to be kicking off a brand new series on how to get your head around starting a side hustle or a small business. And I'd love to hear from you. What's some of the biggest challenges you're facing when you're starting this side hustle? Or what are some things that you feel are holding you back and you don't know how to get over it? And what are some things you're worried about if you were to start one? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. I might feature them in the next episode. So thanks for tuning in. I also want to share something else that's super exciting, which is I will be doing a mailbag episode where I address your questions. So some of you have left questions in my Instagram broadcast channel, but I'd love to hear from some of you on Spotify or YouTube in the comments. This is your chance to get them out there, and I will tackle them one by one in an upcoming episode. Now let's talk about some of the common mistakes people make when reinvesting. Spending on the wrong tools. You don't want to buy fancy gadgets you don't need. Even tools should solve a real problem or save you time or even help you charge a premium. Another pitfall is running ineffective ads. You want to make sure you test small campaigns before you start scaling. Throwing the $1,000 into an ad that isn't proven can really burn your money. So you want to make sure you start with a $100 to $250 ad. You're starting to see the ROI, and then start to scale your 1,000 into that. Another pitfall is taking unnecessary courses. Focus on the skills that directly impact your growth, not broad topics that don't apply, but you want to find one that really will add more to your hourly rate or more to what you're doing, because that will really help you scale more. One example of this is, let's say you are a virtual assistant, taking graphic design classes or social media classes because you often get asked if you have these skills. Now, if you go take these classes, you could start to charge maybe $5 or $10 more an hour because you have these skills and you already knew they were in demand. Overall, you just want to always measure the ROI of your reinvestment. Whether it's a tool, ads, or education, track the results and adjust your strategy as needed. Now let's talk about if you're just not ready to reinvest. Because let's be real, not everyone is ready to reinvest immediately. Maybe your side hustle income is still covering personal bills, or you're waiting to see if this is the right moment, or if it was just a fluke that you made this $1,000. So here's what you can do instead. Track your numbers. Start paying attention to where your money is going. Are there small ways to save? For example, cutting back on unnecessary expenses could free up funds to reinvest or make you just feel more confident in reinvesting this money. Save incrementally. Even if you can't reinvest the whole $1,000, maybe you set around a portion, 10% of it, as a growth fund. Or one thing you can consider is reinvesting with time instead of money. If funds are tight and you want to spend this $1,000 on whatever you need, you should at least try and find ways to invest more time into what you're doing because it is profitable. Focus on maybe improving your skills for free or refining your process or building your network so you get more confident in taking this money you're earning and reinvesting it eventually. That'll do it for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope to hear from you. Make sure you like, subscribe, or do all the little engagement things on this podcast. Has always helped the algorithm, help me show up higher in the rankings. So I appreciate you for being here at the beginning. And until then, on to the next one, guys. Peace.